What's good everyone? Today I have a special video for you all, a gaming challenge. Can you beat Ratchet Clank Rift Apart with only the wrench? Now, I'm a huge Ratchet Clank fan, always have been. Going Commando was my very first PS2 game ever, and I've been enjoying every other major sequel since. I pretty much waited 8 years for Rift Apart to come out, ever since the cliffhanger ending of Into the Nexus. And now we finally got it. And I couldn't be happier. Rift Apart lived up to all of my expectations. Not like a certain other game. Yeah, we don't talk about that one. I also like to do challenges in games. It's kinda fun to go out of your way and to play by different rules. The wrench only run has been a thing in the Ratchet Clank community for a while now, especially with the older games. Regardless, I wanted to try it out with Rift Apart and share my journey. Will I be able to do it? Let's find out. Get yourself a snack, relax and enjoy the video.
Watch this.
That was terrific.
Yeah, great. Change the channel.
So here are the rules. I'm only allowed to use the wrench. Rivet has a hammer, so that's the same thing pretty much. It's the protagonist's default melee weapon, after all. Then, I can't use any weapons. Equipping them is fine as long as I don't shoot. Clank puzzles and glitch fighting sequences can be skipped. Since nothing interesting happens in those Clank puzzles and glitch, well, technically, you have to use your tank to shoot the virus, so last time I checked, laser beams are a weapon. But if I skip them, we don't need to worry about them. The only exception is the dragon segment on Sargasso, where you need to ride Trudy to take down the ships. I also have to create a new game file and can't use challenge mode. At the end of my run, I have to show proof by showing the weapon XP bars in a menu. Also, no cheats or modifiers are allowed, obviously. And for the difficulty, I wanted to play on hard, like a true hero. But we'll get to that later. Okay, so now that we have the rules out of the way, let's begin our epic journey. Our heroes find themselves at a parade in their honor. Ratchet is freaking out because I told him he's not allowed to use any guns this time. But hey, at least he got his wrench. Which is weirdly placed at the very beginning of the game, as if the game wants me to use only this majestic weapon. So Ratchet picks it up in the most epic style possible and we move on. After some testing, the wrench still works. Sorry, Quark. Then we had our first obstacle. The game, doing the tutorial and stuff, obviously wants you to pick up your good old blaster. I couldn't progress further, so I made the hard choice and picked it up. But thankfully, I could also use my wrench to destroy the ships, and the first enemies were no problem. Thanks game. We were jumping on big balloons and had the time of our lives, until the dropship appeared. After clearing all enemies, it was the last thing in our way. It was also our first boss. It even had a health bar and stuff. My throwing attack with the wrench was also not far enough, even when standing at the very edge of the platform. Until I saw that in a very short time period, you are able to hit it when it moves from one place to the other. So I simply waited and dodged its attacks until I got my opportunity. It took some time, sure, but I was able to do it with the wrench only. Improvise, adapt and overcome. Like this one time Quark was hiding amongst monkeys. Like nothing crazy or bad happened because of that, right?
It was mating season. How could I have known she was your sister?
After that I was just killing some goon troops when we got a cutscene and all out of a sudden Ratchet decides to shoot the Dimensionator with his blaster. Our wrench only run was done. Sorry. Yeah, of course, cutscenes don't count. I know. Anyways, I made my way through the rest of the city until we met Dr. Nefarious in his tech suit. Thankfully, he was not too far away for my wrench throwing attack. I even had some nanotech to refill my health. All in all, it was an easy fight. Well, stuff happens and we get teleported into another dimension, obviously. In Nefarious City we met Mrs. Zircon, and oh wow, did we crush her dreams when I told her that we were on a wrench only run. This robot woman won't be getting any bolts from me this time. Oh wait, I forgot. We met her before on the other planet, and there the game forced me to buy a weapon. In a tutorial kind of way. I couldn't move at all until I bought one of the two weapons. So I did. Thankfully I didn't have to use them though. But I couldn't skip her and she got her bolts. This galaxy and its obsession with weapons somehow, right? By the way, in case you didn't notice already, every time I'm doing a ranged attack with the wrench, Ratchet has to switch to one of his default weapons. Even when he throws the wrench, he switches back to the gun 0.02 seconds later, just because, you know, he simply does. It's a slight nitpick that bugs me, but it doesn't ruin it for me. Anyways, back to Nefarious City. We meet Phantom and learn about the dash move. Epic cool stuff. Until Mrs. Zircon forces us again to upgrade Veritarium to one of our weapons. I'm not even surprised at this point. But it's fine, we don't use them after all. It's just to progress. The enemies were a decent challenge so far on the hard difficulty, nothing too crazy. Until I met the boss type robot. Now, he wasn't the problem, but the rift that he teleported me into. Because I ended up, I don't know, somewhere in the abyss? I don't know. Seriously, Ratchet kept spinning and spinning, even after reaching the end of the rift. I was stuck in what seemed to be Savali's orbit, with the rift getting smaller and smaller. My PS5 was also not having it. I had to reboot her in safe mode after she got stuck and didn't turn off. Good times. I destroyed the boss on my second attempt and skipped the glitch puzzle to move on. Then we finally played as Rivet on Sagasso. I used the hammer to beat goons, frogs, flying things and a gruntor. They stood no chance against my mighty hammer. Things were looking good until Clank got kidnapped, unfortunately, by this giant robot seeker thing. Well, my ranged attack only did like 1% damage, so it took a while, but nothing Rivet with her hammer and dash attack couldn't handle. Best thing is, she really embraced that wrench hammer only run and used her hammer even in a cutscene for the finishing blow. I skipped the Clank puzzle and we moved on to Circuits. And oh man, things turned around. The first 5 waves in Arena were already a pain, especially because there's no nanotech to heal yourself and those mini robots are relentless. They insta-teleport in you and take a good chunk of your health. Add a few pirates with precise ranged attacks and you are easily cornered. Round 4 and 5 were truly difficult, but I did it. Until I had to fight against the giant pirate bot thing. He alone was strong enough, but the thing that made it unfair was that he would call in unlimited small robots after his health dropped below 60%. The insta-teleporting pieces of... Don't get me wrong, I tried, I really did. I used my dash attack perfectly to take advantage of a 0.02 second time frame to be immune against his wave attack, only to always die because of those robots. I tried killing them, but they always spawned new ones and flared up again like a rash on the galaxy's backside. I couldn't do enough damage to him, and I didn't have any nanotech in the arena. As my plan B, I loaded up an old save file to grind my stuff before entering the arena. I got a few pieces of armor so I would take less damage, in theory, but even with the armor I could find and access at this point, I didn't have a chance. I was dying over and over again, so I pulled off a Captain Quark move. I changed the difficulty to normal. I wish I could have done it on hard, but the aggressiveness of those robots is no joke. I didn't want to handicap myself even more. It's about only using the wrench after all. Everything else is just for bragging rights. Of course, this time I beat him on my first try. I even got nanotech in the arena, and the small robots were not that aggressive anymore. Back with Ratchet, I stopped an invasion on Savali and met Kit. There was another dropship barely out of reach for my wrench, but I was sneaky enough to climb on the walls and to position myself just close enough to throw my wrench. Perfect. Of course I had to dodge their attacks, but nothing good old Ratchet couldn't do. After we cleared most of the enemies on the flying archives, we faced 2 more boss robots. One of which, well, see this one robot, right? He accidentally shot the other one, and funny enough, the other one fell from the platform and died. Thanks, I guess? Anyways, I killed the other robot and we found what we were looking for. Then we got attacked and Kid transformed into a giant robot herself to defend us. And of course she had to use weapons to defeat them. Pathetic, right? Who doesn't use a wrench? I mean, come on. We moved on to the next planet and I basically speedran through it as good as I could. Those green amoeboids were a bit annoying though. We freed Juice and faced a huge army of robots, like a lot of robots, and 3 boss robots, and I beat them all, one by one. I put on my A game to dodge all the attacks and to, use the right moment to attack. It was intense. I barely made it, honestly. The fight really took a lot of effort, but nothing I couldn't do with my wrench. Juice helped, by the way, I think. So I guess I have to thank him too. But back with Ratchet and Clank, we had to activate the giant drill for the Dimensionator part, obviously. I wish I could tell you that something interesting happened, but I can't. It was more of the same thing. Oh, apart from that the goons now had flying motorcycles, those guys really came a long way somehow.
I can't hear you, la 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 la.
Another giant boss robot defeated, another Clank puzzle skipped, funny grind rail segment mastered and dropship destroyed. Just another normal day in a galaxy. We moved on to the next planet. Here we had to kill pirate robots with shields. Annoying but doable. It just takes more time to kill them, but nothing the hammer couldn't do. Even the ones on a flying ship. I feel like I haven't appreciated the wrench and hammer's throwing distance enough. It's really generous, compared to the PS2 and PS3 games. Well, anyways, we took care of the pirates and fixed the fixer. All the characters finally meet each other, and before we could use the Dimensionator, Dr. Nefarious surprised us. Fighting him was fun. I would say it was balanced. Then we met the other Nefarious. By the way, I really love this take on him. It's really great. Insomniac did a great job on this. Next thing we know, we need to defend Sargasso again. I killed like 100 enemies and had to fight another giant robot boss. But I almost had no health at this point, so I had to backtrack a few times for more nanotech. But he also died. Then I had to take control of Trudy and destroy the flying ships. I had to use the Dragonfire attack and bombs that she could throw. Technically an animal isn't a weapon and you can't use the wrench while riding, so it's all good. We took care of that and moved on to Adolis, the pirate planet. Everything was fine and I felt pure nostalgia for Tools of Destruction's Adolis. The level used the same layout and when I saw that one room, I almost felt home. But then we got a cutscene and Ratchet decided to shoot his blaster just for fun. Really? Really, Ratchet? You think this wrench-only run is a joke? Man, I didn't know what to say. So I took care of the enemies and faced a huge problem. Or so I thought. We had to complete the pirate trials, and for one of the challenges you have to shoot singing pirates. Well, turns out you can also just use the throwing attack of your wrench to trigger them. Nice. Moving on, we meet Captain Quantum, and defend our ship against a ton of pirates until we called Davy Jones' pet. This thing took care of the rest of the enemies and Quantum saved us by throwing us into the sea. Thanks, I guess. Good thing I still had my wrench. Savali got attacked. yet again, and this time we had to fight undead bone goons. That's literally the only difference. Meanwhile, Rivet fought on a Nefarious ship against another, you guessed it, giant robot boss. I wish more fun stuff happened, but I got nothing. Oh, the undead Gruntor boss fight was the biggest challenge in the whole game so far, because the game threw tons of bone goons at me. First fighters, then blaster goons, and finally flying, shooting undead bone goons. Fun fact, that wasn't even the worst stuff Insomniac came up with for Ratchet Clank, but we don't talk about that. I defeated the monster and skipped the Clank puzzle. Ratchet Clank got captured and put into prison, so Rivet had to break in and save them. I took care of tons of enemies, so let's skip ahead to the two annoying dropships. I barely could hit them. They were constantly moving, so I had to be precise and dodge their attacks for a long time. Annoying, but at the end of the day doable, because I could use my wrench at a one perfect time frame spot to damage them. Now we were ready for the endgame. Before that, I used the opportunity to collect more armor pieces around the planets. You know, to do more melee damage and to take less damage from the nefarious troops. I couldn't get all of the pieces because of limitations, obviously. There was no time to fight in arena too, because some challenges required the use of weapons. So sorry Deadlocked fans. So here we are, ready to defeat Nefarious once and for all. The army was no problem, and the first phase of the giant mech suit battle was doable by just standing at the edge of the platform. From there I had enough range to do damage to his laser arm. Phase 2 was more annoying. I had to get his health down from 75% to 0%, and one hit made like 1% damage. So I had to hit him like 75 times, I guess? The thing is, there was only one good spot where I could hit him, on the edge of the top left platform. But guess what? Nefarious has exactly like 4 different attacks that he cycles through randomly. 2 of them place him out of reach. The rapid fire one and the laser beam one that's more to the right. Good. He also does another laser beam one that is closer to Ratchet, so he can damage him. So that one works, and the laser eye attack that he does too. Both are close enough. But this robot constantly uses the rapid fire attack or the wrong laser beam attack, and it took me like half an hour of dodging and attacking to get his health down. It was relentless. I damaged myself on purpose during the laser eye attack to get 2 hits on him. Thankfully, I always got new nanotech spawns every time my health dropped below 20. But it took forever. So here, enjoy this 30,000% speeded up montage of it. Good times.
Yeah, what's up, people? It's Carney Gears. Are you feeling me, robots? I'm feeling you. I see the future, and what do I see? Robots going crazy across the galaxy. Can't stand organics, they're soft and squishy. The time is now, where robots must be free. You wanna be free? Then shout with me, yeah! This goes out to all you robots across the galaxy. It's time for you and me to rise up and strike back. Don't stop until we dominate. Won't you feel great when we exterminate all organic life?
But in the end, I did it. I destroyed his tech suit with only the wrench. After that, I also had to destroy his giant robot heart twice, but that was easy in comparison. The only thing left was the one-on-one fight against Nefarious as Rivet. And that was also no problem. It was way easier than the slow-paced giant suit phase. Nefarious stood no chance, and Rivet smashed him one last time with the hammer in a cutscene. Perfectly done. And that was it. Which means our wrench/hammer only playthrough is complete.
What'd you think of that?
That didn't seem so bad.
It's actually possible to fully beat the game with only the melee weapons. That's honestly so cool. I didn't expect it at first, but hey, here we are. Thanks Insomniac for making it this way. If intended or not, I had a blast. So I started a new game plus or challenge mode to show you my weapon XP. And as you can see, my blaster and enforcer didn't get any XP. The bar is at the minimum both in the quick select and weapons menu. I'm quite happy with my run and I hope you could enjoy my journey of this challenge. Also, shout out to all of the ammo crates I didn't break in this run. You will not be forgotten. I'm planning on doing more challenges like this in the future, so subscribe if you want. I have a few other gaming challenges already, like The Last of Us Part 2 or Cyberpunk, but I'm planning on uploading them on my second channel too, because I mainly post Call of Duty content on this one, and yeah, I want to separate it, I think. If you want to see my The Last of Us Part 2 no weapons run, click here, and if you want to subscribe for more gaming challenges, click the other one. Or just like the video, I don't know. But anyways, thanks for watching and I hope you enjoyed my wrench only run.